Cool.
These walls can talk. Open your mind and listen.
Trailing down these hollow halls, can you hear me? Staring down these storied walls, can you see me?
Hey, everybody out there. Nobody watching just yet. That's fine. I only announced this podcast like an hour earlier. I just realized we had a couple things coming up, and I thought it was maybe time I should say something about these things coming up because it's this weekend happening, and something just happened. And hey, Ronnie, good opportunity to chat her away, shall we say? Okay, so. First things first, I want to give a shout out. Actually, we just did an investigation in Ajax. Claims weren't totally crazy. We did get some video footage that they had sent ahead of time, which is nice when your client does a little homework up front. And she did some research after the fact. We did the investigation and found out that there was an old mill that was on her property. It was the Quakers at that place. It was the people that settled Pickering Village, and I thought that was really cool. So I want to give a shout out to Tracy on that one there. It's a great piece of research that she's done. We're going to go back in a couple weeks. Last investigation we did there, we had to cut short. I was not feeling well, unfortunately, that night, which has been kind of common as of late. Matter of fact, you know, that's kind of affected things lately on my team, where lead work has been handed off lately. So, you know, I'm doing this sort of thing, but I'm not really going out and doing the investigation so much. I'm wondering if I should adjust that. I think I got to turn the light on so that my camera stops focusing in and out. We'll see if that works. Yeah, probably won't. Like, I'm not the biggest technical marvel on the whole bloody planet, am I? So, you know what? We've had a pretty good week. I'm going to show you here. Let's go click the small screen. So last night I had an opportunity, and let's see. Oh, there it goes. So there's Jeff Nunn. Jeff Nunn's online right now, and I met up with Jeff last night at a old church. It's now a home in Ashburn, Ontario. We did just a little tiny preamble investigation. It was nothing formal. Had a great time. It was good to have a chance to actually chat it up with Jeff because, frankly, I refer work out, and to me it's kind of important to get to know who it is that I'm dealing with. Jeff seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders, and he knows a lot of the same people that I know, so it's going to be easier for me to send work to Jeff. And I had a pretty good time with that, so that's awesome. We've got an investigation coming up at Wildwood. Didn't come into the frame too well. Wildwood Sanitarium, which is in New York State in Salamanca. This is the sister property to the Hinsdale House. I had to back out of this investigation just recently. My health hasn't improved enough yet that I don't think I'm going to be a hindrance to this investigation. It is what it is, right? Your integrity on investigations has to be key, and frankly, I think I'd be more in the way. You know, I'm getting better, but I haven't just yet. So somebody else will be doing the lead on that investigation, which is Sandy. So Sandy Gibb, yes, it's my wife, has been on our team now for 8 years. Sandy does a hell of a lot more. I want to give a bit of a shout out to her, not only because she's been putting up with this whiny crybaby of a sick man. As you all know, man flu. I've had something a little more than the flu for the last 8 to 10 months, but she's the one that's been putting up with my bullshit. And, waking her up at 4 o'clock in the morning to whine like a 3-year-old. She's put up with everything. Sandy came to our team originally when we were dating, and she edited some of our videos that really sucked. Which, you know, if you look at our earlier work, you'll see how bad we really were. And she did the editing, so I kind of said, well, you're on the team now. And from then, she's been investigating and kind of gone into production work. All of our videos are done. She's a chief video and evidence analyst as well. So, you know, she's a very technical person. Yeah, I guess it is 10 years. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. My brain isn't with it right here. And it's always good to have your wife use shit on a podcast. 10 years. Sorry. So yeah, so she's going to be leading this investigation of Wildwood, and she's one of those people that doesn't like to get on the camera. Oh, hey, cat, how you doing? My cat's managed to make it onto this podcast. This is Tubby. Hi. So I've really got to thank her for that, and Shannon's going down, and John, and Dan, and Kathy, and Carolyn, and Jennifer Biederman Glover. So it's going to be a great investigation for sure to be had, you know, and that's that. We've got, what am I doing here? So let's get this cat back on the ground because it's annoying me. Sandy, Picton. So we have an investigation also coming up in September at Prince Edward Heights, which is in Picton. This is the COPS, Correctional Officers Paranormal Society hosted site. We've been here about 7 times, and we're going to do kind of a nice big group investigation. I've got Ron from RLC and his fam coming along. Looking forward to that. And we've also got the lads that did the video, the hobbyists, Taylor and Carter coming along. They're hilarious. So I'm looking forward to a rather fun night. Now let's see if I can get this all going properly. There! Look at that. Okay, so we didn't have the same kind of technical mashup that we did the last podcast, which really sucked. Big ones, right? So yeah, it's going to be a good investigation of Wildwood. I think Wildwood pretty much has about the same claims as everything else. There's a little boy or a little girl. It's there, lady in white, the person on the stairs, the whole bit, right? So, you know, we're going to investigate. The way we always investigate, and skeptically as we always are going to do it skeptically, because frankly, my big deal with these commercial locations is that they all seem to have the same claims. With hope, my guys will go running out of this location, scared to death. Okay, that's what I hope. I hope because I'm not able to make it to this investigation that it's incredible and that it's worth it for them. Luckily, it's only a couple hours away, so I don't feel too worried about them. Yeah, so it's a bit of a bummer. I'm not going. I'm kind of caffed about that, but unfortunately, health comes first. And you know what, like I said, this last investigation we did in Ajax, I had to depart just due to the internal workings weren't happening at that point in time, and so I'm going to send a team back there on a weeknight in the next few weeks. And speaking in the next few weeks, I've got like 9 cases I'm working on right now, so I am finding those teams that I can give that work out to right now. Like I know that I can give work to Ron RLC, and now talking to Jeff, I can give Jeff some work. I know that Bytown is a team that I will deal with, you know, for the East End, and I will deal with COPS. But I'm just looking for teams, you know, that can take work overflow. We generally get an intake of about, on a strong time, 8 to 25 cases a month. It seems pretty broad, but some months are less. You know, nobody can handle 25 cases in a month. Coming up, you know, as far as myself, I've got a lot of investigating coming up. That's the end of September, but I've got a couple publics that I'm doing, and that should also be great. So we're doing the Canadian Automotive Museum here in Oshawa, and we're doing the Champlain Trail Museum in Pembroke, which we've done a number of times. Both places we've done before, and I'm looking forward to it. So Let's have a look here. Oh, wait, here you want to see my technical? Here's my technical sheet for the night. See? Not a lot of prep going on here. That's absolutely for sure. So I do want to have another bit of a shout out tonight. I went and I bought some essential oils tonight at a place called Sage in the Oshawa Center. Young lady at Sage asked me about sage. She says, how do you feel about sage? It's ironic because I was just discussing this last night with Jeff Nunn. You know what? If you prescribe to it, I think what bothers me is that teams that go do cleansings and charge for it, which by the way is wrong, but teams that go out and do cleansings and all they use is sage. Okay, so this is how we're going to deal with every spirit. Now, we don't know that every single spirit is warded off by sage. We don't know. I guess maybe it would be, to me, kind of akin to going into your home and you're a Roman Catholic and I bring, I'm not Jewish, but I bring the Torah in and I do Jewish blessings to keep the demons out. I mean, I guess it's all what you're prescribing to, and really, if the client feels happy and safe and better that we've done something, then I'll do it. It's much the same as bringing in a medium. I don't particularly, I'm not akin to them, but if the client wants it, then we're going to do whatever it takes to make the client happy, except for lying for them and just telling them what they want to hear. I'm all about the client's comfort, but I'm also not going to go in there and tell the client that we're investigating just to make their claims true. Which is kind of where I want to take the next question, and hopefully people can type in and see their comments on this. And please do comment on the saging as well. I like sage; it smells nice. I don't prescribe to shamanic wisdom, and I don't mean that it doesn't exist. It's just it's not part of my life. So I don't understand it, and therefore I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. Well, I know what it's supposed to do, but I mean, like, I've never seen it or felt it. I've only ever had people tell me that it works, the people that prescribe to it, right? So mediums, I happen to have a gentleman make a comment on my board in regards to an investigation I was asking about, and he stated that about remote investigations, like a medium. I'm asking about this because I'm going to be doing work with ESP, but the whole idea of a remote investigation only needs an address. And with the address, these mediums can do and more than any investigation with our devices can do. So I want to kind of ask that question of you, and you can type it now or you can put on comments later, is what exactly are you trying to achieve with an investigation? Like, what are you trying to achieve? If you've got mediums there, the mediums are going to tell you something, and if you've got equipment, something else, right? So, I mean, the equipment is, how you doing there? We're not doing the same thing. And one is on a pragmatic logical scale, and yet have I ever had an investigation where I've had to tell somebody to move? No. No. And I've done a couple hundred residential investigations, and no. I've never come into a situation where a house is demonic. It's why I want to run into one of these demons or something in a way, and they always tell me you're going to shit your pants if you ever see or come across this. Well, you know what? I've been doing this for a fairly long time, and I've never come across it. But it's the same thing with the medium. Like, I don't understand where the whole remote thing, they're going to be able to go achieve more than what we could. I think that's all in a certain paradigm, right? What are you trying to achieve? Is that medium going to tell them that, yes, your claims are correct and that I've removed the spirit and your spirit is there and its name is Benjamin and it's 104 years old? Okay, well, you're right. I'm not going to come in there with my devices and tell you that. And what's and Ron makes a good point there, is how do we even prove? How do you prove that you did it? Except for the fact that, psychosomatically, you might be convincing that person that everything's fine now, and they're like, oh, okay, everything's fine. and then they're not freaking out, right? Like, okay, for example, a great deal of my sickness right now, I think, is exacerbated by anxiety, um, stress and anxiety. Absolutely, right? So if I had something to cure that, then maybe that would other things would go away. So if we have now, a medium which has said, look, I've come into your home and I've walked up and down your hallways, and there's no longer a spirit there, and you prescribe to that, then I guess you've done what we've asked. But if you're asking me to come into your home and possibly come up with a, you know, uh, explanation as for why something's happening, then we have something to talk about, right? And then I'm going to go over my audio and all my analytical devices and see if I can come up with something and an opinion. I'm just not going to send somebody in there and say, look, this person's going to come in there and clear out all your spirits because, you know what, I grew up in that world, and no, I don't prescribe to that. I could be wrong. Um, But you do, dude. I mean, like, come and clear my house. Come into my home and tell me what's going on. I'll give you my address. I offer anybody who says that they can achieve more than we can. It's not, to me. It's not a more. It's a what. You know, I don't think you're achieving different things. Um, I don't even know what an answer is to that. That's why I didn't answer the gentleman on my Facebook page, because I'm not into starting fights. Because if we're on different wavelengths as far as to what we believe, we just have different goals. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to go see a medium and have them tell you fortune, that's totally cool. I'm fine with that. You know, that's up to you. If as a team, say, I can go into a home and guarantee you and get rid of the spirits, then I think you're full of shit and you're a liar. And if you're charging money for it, then you're a charlatan. This isn't a business. This is research, and that's what that is, right? Just my opinion. So I mean, you can have your opinions on mediums too. It's as much as the same as I'd even talk about phone apps. Like a lot of people use the phone apps. Um, no, let's understand. Like, phones have a lot of apps, right? Like, I mean, there are apps that are for diagnostic purposes, and I'm totally fine with that. Phones are really cool these days. They've got all kinds of abilities. I did an investigation not too distant past where another team, I mean, another team that I know, I believe that they're actually running a division now, was using Ghost Radar, um, which is a chuckle. I mean, like Ghost Radar, which actually shows you like a little picture of what the ghost looks like and how old it is and all that. That's absolutely crazy. Um, I don't know how anybody can take that seriously. There's just no seriousness to that. It's an entertainment thing. Um, so I mean, it is what it is. So it wasn't really a lot I had to yap about tonight. Just that I had a good time with Jeff last night. That Wildwood's coming up this weekend, but Sandy's running it, not me. I'm a bachelor. I'm staying at home with the cat this weekend. And then next week we're headed up to the trailer for the week, so you're not going to see too many posts from me. Um, yeah, that's it. So look at that, guys. It was under 20 minutes, and have a good evening, and I wish you all the best of health.